Mahaley Bailey's 22 years old. She's got her degree from Oklahoma State University as well. Just like her mom and her sister. And she graduated last May, and she needs a job. Now, I got to get that kid off the payroll soon, man. Because it's going to be hard to marry that one off, because the guy's got to fall in love with her forehead. See, you're judging and you don't even know. She's probably the prettiest one out of the litter. She truly is. But we gave her a cell phone way too early, right? Her sister got one at 16. She got one on the same day at 13. As a daddy, I was opposed to it, and now I haven't seen two of her eyes since, y'all. They just been buried down in that phone. I figure the guy's got to walk into a bar and go, look at the forehead on that one. Dude, check out her thumbs. They're huge. And I bet they're fake. Pixar joke number 1 if you keep it up. And then my youngest daughter, that's my Audie Grace, y'all, and she is 12. I got them 31, 28, 26, 22, and 12. I had 4 that completed college and 1 that completed the 6th grade. You know what that's like? That's like running an entire marathon. You get to the finish line, somebody stretches out the yellow tape and then goes, dude, don't hit that, that ain't for you. You hop in the truck, we gonna take you back to the starting gate. We won't go back to the starting gate. Audie Grace is something. She was named class president last year, 6th grade class president. Yeah. The very first day in office, she erased all of her emails and built a wall between them and the 5th graders. Got the 4th grade to pay for it. Then she ran into a little scandal. She had kissed a boy in 2nd grade and been paying him off since. If you guys got cable, that joke would rock. Audie Grace is something. She's the only one I ever had to go to the schoolhouse over. I'm not saying my other 4 kids are perfect angels. I'm just saying they never got caught and got their daddy involved in the thing, right? 3rd grade, I get called to her classroom, walk into her little classroom, and her teacher looks at me and goes, do you realize your daughter is a class clown? I got a tear in my eye, you know? Are you serious? The other 4 are really smart. Finally, one of them falling in her daddy's footsteps. Teacher didn't find anything funny about it. She said that young lady needs to take her education more seriously. I said, all right, back up, Lee Harvey. I'll talk to her. I'm not being overly critical, but if you're yelling at her like you are at me, somebody needs to work on their people skills. I got out in the hallway. Audie Grace had these crocodile tears in her eyes, and she's my favorite. By far, she is my favorite. I know you always wonder if your mom and daddy got a favorite. By far, they got a favorite. Yeah. And if you're wondering who it is, it ain't you. Because the favorite knows who the favorite is. That's right. All my kids know that kid's my favorite. I walked out in that hallway. She had them tears in her eyes. She said, you mad at me, Daddy? I said, no, girl, get in the truck. We going for ice cream. You hear me? Get in the truck. We got to the Brahms ice cream store by the house. She just licking on that ice cream. She said, you really ain't mad at me, Daddy? I said, no, you don't listen, old lady. You keep telling your jokes. You'll get you a good job working 30 minutes a night somewhere. You hear me, young? My 2 oldest kids get mad at me most of all, though. They really do. They're like, Daddy, you spoil her. You never spoiled us. I said, well, let's look at the facts. I had Audie Grace when I was 36 years old. I said, Brittany, I had you when I was 19. You 2 people ought to be happy you are alive. Especially Brittany. I left her on top of a car one time, y'all. Now, in my defense, she was 17 years old at the time, and I told her twice to get down. And the boy's always been my helper. Now he's a grown man, too, and I'm proud of the man that I raised. He's 6'3" now, and I'm proud of the man that he's become. And him and his wife are going to have a baby this fall. That's pretty cool, everybody. So, but when he was little, I used to call him a little shadow, you know, because I don't know if you have a son out there, daddies, but there's nothing better than a little shadow, especially when you're surrounded by so many females in that house. And everywhere I went, that boy went, right? Yeah, that's why he's my. And when me and my wife got married, we could barely afford this little old house, this little 2-bedroom bungalow, and I had to redo the whole thing, tore down the studs myself, even redid the electricity in that house, and I had no idea what I was doing either. And this is way back before Google, so it was trial and error at best. But there that shadow was right behind his daddy. Yeah, I had on my tool belt working on the electricity. He had on his tool belt working on electricity. I had a little butt crack showing. He had a smaller butt crack showing. Working them tools, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Come on, boy, yeah. So, and he helped me with electricity. So the first 5 years of his life, he walked with a twitch, y'all. No, even now, you sneak up behind Jacob and flip on light, and he'll pee a little bit. He will. He might not know the difference between red and blue, but he knows the difference between a 110 and a 220, I guarantee. Daddy, that 220 will take your shoes off. Parents don't raise kids like that anymore. My next door neighbor got a 3-year-old son. They went through the entire house, put little plastic caps on every one of the electrical sockets, because he stuck a penny in there, and we don't want him to do that again. I said, you got to see if he'll do it again. The boy does it 2 times. He's got a learning disability. He does it 3 times, you might have to send him to a special school. That boy does it 4 times, you have him grow up and run for Congress. All my friends are there too, especially my buddies. You know, we're all in that early 50s, and now all my buddies are, you know, going through a midwife crisis. And yeah, they're all out buying new wives, man. I'll keep my old wife, thank you very much, yeah. Got a couple of miles on her, but I don't have to take out a Carfax, I guarantee it. I'm telling you, I got a buddy of mine about to get married for the 5th time, y'all, the 5th time. That's not even the craziness of the story. His fiance is also getting married for the 5th time. I know, they were bragging at a party that they met online. I go, what site? whosleft.com? I got another buddy of mine about to get married again, y'all. July 4th. He's 51 years old, about to marry a woman turning 23. She gonna kill him. I know, I asked him one time, I go, dude, be honest with me. 23 years old, first time you took her home, did you try to fool around with her or just set her in front of the TV with a bowl of cereal? I go, dude, this is never gonna work out. You know nothing about the Power Rangers. I couldn't imagine marrying somebody that young. I truly couldn't. First of all, I don't like what it's done to my own marriage. I really don't. Because now that my buddy's marrying somebody so young, my wife is like, is that what you want, Bill? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? I go, baby, I'm married. When have I ever got what I want? I'm telling you, man, I couldn't imagine marrying somebody that young. First of all, I got 3 kids older than 23. Second of all, I couldn't imagine taking off my shirt in front of somebody that young and have her look at me and go, There is so much hair. You look like my dad. My wife and I, we do know how to talk to each other. We know how to fight with each other. That takes a while to get used to. Fighting takes a long time because when you first start fighting as a young couple, you're just fighting to win. And we both knew how to win, too. My wife knew all she had to do was shed a tear and boom, the fight was over, man. It was like Mike Tyson, ringing the bell, right hook, boom, Bill on the ground. I'd be confessing to stuff I couldn't have done. I'm like, I'm sorry I killed Kennedy and Lincoln, okay? Look at the young people like, why did he shoot a car? So, but we know how to fight, and I'm not bragging, ladies. As a matter of fact, I'm not even proud of this, but I knew how to win the fight. I knew exactly what to say to cut down my wife, and I'm not proud of it, but I was good at it. I mean, I've been telling jokes to strangers, so I was being heckled at home, and I'm pretty good at it, right? And she'd say something, and I'd hit her with one of them heckle lines, man, and tear her into her. One night we're fighting, and she gets a tear in her eye. She goes, you know what? I would rather you hit me than say the ugly, cruel things that you say in these fights. Turned out she was lying. So when I graduated high school, y'all, I was 6'3", 18 years old. I weighed 145 pounds. Yeah, that right there is what that is. Actually, it's me, so is that right there is what it was. I know I only do this bit so I can take off my hat and show you I got hair. And screw you, Kenny Chesney. Actually, if it was a Kenny Chesney joke, it'd be more like that right there. No shoot, no serve, no service. So when I graduated high school, y'all, I was a 6'3" kid, 18 years old, weighed 145 pounds. My grandmother used to call me painfully thin. And then one day I turned 30 years old and I weighed 178 pounds. And then I turned 30 in a day and I weighed 245 pounds. So I go back. Now I'm not even self-conscious about my weight until January the 17th a couple of years ago. Now on January the 17th a couple of years ago, I was making my national actorial debut on a show called Dallas. Thanks for not caring over here. Appreciate that, y'all. No, I was, man. And don't clap for them a whole lot because they cut me out of the show, y'all. They did. They cut me out of the show twice. No kidding. The first time I was on there as a cop, Detective Riley Anderson. I even had 3 big scenes with Bobby Ewing. We even had an episode watching party at the house. So we brought all my family and friends over to the house. We even set up a TV in the bathroom so if you went and took a dump, didn't miss my part. We got to that first scene, I wasn't in it. My wife goes, what do you want me to do? And I go, I don't know. And then we got to the next scene, I wasn't in that one. She goes, what do you want me to do now? And I go, get these people out of here. And my agent called me like 8 days later, goes, Bill, they want you back on the show. I go, nobody believes I was on the show, man. If they were going to cut me out of the show, they should have told me. I put it on Facebook, now I look like a dummy. So they gave me another part. The first time I was on there, I was a cop. Second time I was on there, I was a construction worker. I am a cowboy, so now if they could just cast me as the Navy guy in the Indian, I'm the village people by myself. So I go back. The day before all this happens, my agent calls me from New York. He goes, hey, Bill, I know you got your big actorial debut coming up. Have you thought about losing some weight? I said, it's tomorrow. He said, I know, but they got a new product out now, and you might consider it while you're wearing it on set. It's called Spanx for Men. And, okay, apparently 3 women know what I'm talking about. Fellas, if you don't know what Spanx for Men is, it first came out of Spanx for Women. And if you don't know what that product is, have you ever gone out with your wife or your girlfriend and her butt looks amazing through dinner? And then you get home and she goes in the bedroom by herself. And then you hear this noise, blah, 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 blah. Well, that heifer had on Spanx. See, some women are laughing right now because you can't breathe. And, so what they make for women is a girdle, right? And what they make for men is this tight white t-shirt that's supposed to push the belly back up in the chest where it's designed to be at, right? So I go over and look at a Dillard's right here in Northeast Mall. It's $56 for just one plain white t-shirt. Okay, this already goes against my principle of buying a plain white shirt. People, I've been wearing a plain white shirt underneath my button-down shirt since I was 2 years old in short-legged pants. For $56, I'd get 72 Fruit of the Loom. That's all I'm telling you. For $56, I'd get 72 Fruit of the Loom and the Fruit of the Loom guys behind me, singing and dancing. I get it home, right, and I'm a little claustrophobic anyway, and I get it, and it's just stuck to my face. Okay, maybe you're not physics majors over here. This happens to be smaller than this. If I can't get her over the melon, but I finally get my big fat head through it like I just birthed myself. And I shove my two arms through it and it's just balled up like a weird man's sports bra that you then get to unroll over your own fatty flesh. And I look in the mirror and it looked like I need to take a dump. Just, oh Lord, I can't wear this on national television. They're gonna call it to the network. Let him get off the show and take a poo. And then when you take it off, it looks like you just open up a can of biscuits. Do not do that from a mirror. It made me cry like, holy hell, I can't go on TV. I'm not pretty. I went to Walmart that day. I didn't go to Walmart that day to buy anything. I just went to Walmart that day just to build up my self-esteem. Walked around the whole day going, I ain't that fat, I ain't that fat. I'm 4 biscuits away from a scooter. You guys are cool, man. I'm what they call a happily married man, though. I truly am. I think it's... I know a lot of times comedians never talk about being happily married, but I think one of the reasons is because I married an older woman. Yeah, yeah. My wife is now 50 years old, y'all. Yeah. I'm 49 in 16 months, and my wife is an amazing woman. She's good. She's really great with her kids too, man. And that's where I really lean on her because I'm on the road all the time. And right now, Audie Grace is getting close to be 13. And you know, I don't know if you ever had a 13-year-old girl in the house, but I'm just trying to stay on the road till she turns 26. No, they're just so weird when they get that age. Boys are easy to raise at 13. Girls are not so much. And the other day I came home from a road trip and I could hear them talking and my Audie Grace goes, you know what? I don't even like my eyes. They're just so big. I'm like, dear Lord, I'm going to get blamed for this. But then I hear my wife tell her, she goes, oh, baby, your eyes aren't too big. God has made your eyes that big. They're the perfect size that God wanted them eyes to be. And it made my daughter feel good, and it made my wife feel good, and it made me feel real good because I wasn't going to get blamed for it. About 6 hours later, we're going to go to a charity benefit, and my wife walked out of the bathroom, and she goes, this dress makes me look big. And I said, oh, honey. Don't jump ahead of this group over here. I said, baby, that dress don't make you look big. God made you big. So I went to the benefit by myself. Took God with me, y'all. But we're generally happy with each other. I know there's couples been married longer, but sometimes you look at an old couple together and you can tell that they're not happy. You ever see them in a mall? The old man's sitting on a bench somewhere holding a purse, and then when they both make eye contact, they have that look like I'd kill them, but they're going to die anyway. And well, I get the cops involved. And my wife and I were in a pharmacy the other day, and she holds up a Cosmopolitan magazine. She said, look, baby, it says now 50 is the new 20. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I'll tell you like I did her, if that was true, we probably wouldn't be in a pharmacy right now. And the frequency in which I go to a pharmacy now tells me I'm in my 50s. I went the other day, not to even buy anything, y'all. I just went there just to look around. Yeah, I got that much time on my hands. Stayed on that one aisle, that as seen on TV aisle, man. Just walking up and down, going, who comes out with a pillow that glows, man? That's awesome. If 50 is the new 20, how come I got parts of my body that now hurt that I never knew I owned when I was 20 years old? When I was 23 years old, I rebuilt my very first house. I already told you about it. The other day, I'm watching the Three Stooges on the Turner Network in a marathon. I giggled and pulled a muscle in my back. I walked strolled over 2 days, a buddy of mine like, did you finally put in a pool? Hell no, Curly's funny, man, Curly funny. You know, this was not my first choice of an outfit, but me and my wife seem to play a game every time I'm gonna go do something important called, that's not what you're really gonna wear, is it? I try to tell her all the time, I'm like, no, baby, this is what I would have wore if I was still single. Yeah, this outfit is what we call in married land a compromise, everybody. The jacket she picked out, it's Armani, and yeah, and the shirt is JCPenney. I picked it out. The belt buckle's kind of special to me. A friend of mine actually gave it to me. This is a true story. He was riding in a rodeo event, and he got thrown from the horse, and he cracked his skull open, and he was in a coma for 31 days. Actual true story. And they were going to kill him. They were literally going to pull the plug on him on a Friday. On Thursday, he wakes up and miraculously still lived. And he gave me the belt buckle. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can clap for that, sure. And when he gave me the belt buckle, he said, Bill, I want you to wear this belt buckle just to remind you how short and precious life truly is. And then I also want you to love your wife with all your heart, dude, all your heart. And I said, well, why would you say that? And he goes, because my wife was ready to pull the plug on day 2. I'm so glad you guys came out for the show. You know, when we decided to put this thing together, I wanted to work a small club, because the last time I did my first special ever, we did it in a big theater, and I just didn't feel the connection. And this time, I'm so glad we're doing it in a small club like this. Thank you very much. When we first decided about doing a special, everybody started asking me, well, are you going to work clean or are you going to work dirty? Because for the first 5 years of my career, if you ever kept up with it, I worked pretty clean. In the next 15, not so much. And then the last 2 have kind of cleaned it up again, you know, because I'm trying to get closer to my faith, and apparently God's been looking for me. Who knew? But I try to clean it up some, you know, and then we decided to do this. And sometimes you don't know if clean is clean enough, because I had to do a corporate gig about 6 months ago. My agent called me, and I didn't want to do it. And I said, I'm not going to do a corporate gig. I don't like doing them. And he said how much they were going to pay me. And I said, well, sure, I'll do that corporate gig. Then he called me 3 weeks before the gig. He said, Bill, they just called, little wrinkle. They want you to do the show without any 4-letter words in it. And I said, none at all. And he goes, they said it was okay as long as that word is in the Bible. So it's been 3 weeks reading that book. And I know it started out great. Everybody's naked. Then I got lost in the middle by the end. And I'm like, I don't know what's happened now, but there's 4 people on a horse. Right, this side read the Bible, bless your heart. And then he called me 2 weeks before the gig. He said, Bill, they just called again and said not to do anything of an explicit nature in that show. And I said, dude, did they even look at my tape? And then he called me 2 days before I did the gig. He said, they just called again and said, don't do anything that's religious, political, or controversial. So on behalf of me and my agent, I looked down and all I had left was a good night. So I do a different kind of breed of comedy these days. I like to call it adult humor, but without the adult language is what I try to do. It's kind of a different kind of deal, because I think grown-ups should be able to laugh, and sometimes we don't need the kids in the room, but sometimes you can't turn down the volume soon enough. I do. I kind of look at it like a Pixar movie, my comedy. You ever go to a Pixar movie where kids are laughing and mom and daddy are laughing at all the same time, but 2 different jokes? That's what I try to accomplish each night, yeah. We talk about drinking. That changes the older that you get. The older that you get, the more you got to plan out your night of drinking. When you're in your 20s, not one night do you have to plan it out. You want to go out with us? Heck yeah. What time you got to be at work? 6 a.m. What time is it now? 5:30. Woo! 15 more minutes of drinking. You get in your 40s and beyond that, you got to plan it out. You want to go out with us for Halloween? Hell no, I'm doing New Year's this year, dude. New Year's. I already got the Pepto and the Tylenol next to the bed, dude. I give me some Gatorade and I'm hooked up. Finally had to break down to buy glasses for the first time. I told everybody I didn't need glasses. I told everybody I got 20/20 vision. And I knew it wasn't true. And I'll be honest with you, I finally broke down and bought my glasses just because I was tired of ordering chicken Alfredo. You old people know what I'm talking about, don't you? You young people can kiss our asses. That's right. By the way, that word is in the Bible. Shows up a lot. It's actually 5 letters. Because when you're 20 years old, you look at the whole menu like you own the dang joint, man. I haven't seen a side in 12 dang years. No, because they put the sides in a little 6-point print on the bottom. I'm like, just give me the squiggly stuff, I guess. Because when you're 20 years old, the menu's here. When you're 30, it's here. When you're 40, it's here. And then one day you look up and go, screw it, give me chicken Alfredo. And I knew I had to buy the glass because the last time I said, give me chicken Alfredo, the lady said, sir, you're in a Jiffy Lube. Well, I'll take that stuff to go then. I brought them out on stage. I'm not impretentious anymore. Here's a brand new William Lee look, everybody. All right, everybody. Woo. Wait, there's more. Chicken Marcella for me, witches. You can't be a cool guy in a bar with these dang things on. I look like a weird cowboy gynecologist. By the way, ladies, if your gynecologist has to make this move, well, you got problems. Pixar joke number 2 is what that is. Finally, I had to go on a diet for the first time ever. Probably should have been on a diet sooner, but I was kind of in denial about the whole gain of weight thing. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I gradually gained my weight over the years, and I haven't learned how to exercise or eat any better. I just learned how to look in a mirror better. Yeah, there's no more side mirrors in our house. Everything just straight on, one single pane. You look at it and suck up and go, heck yeah, that look good right there, man. Seriously, I got a button hanging on behind that belt buckle for dear life. I know, I always had this reoccurring nightmare that I take off the belt during the show and kill some lady. But when I graduated high school, y'all, from Boswell High School right here in Saginaw, Texas. Class of 1984, that's right. I was 6'3". Oh, here's a little secret. I'm only 6'2" now. I'm 51 years old. I'm going this way and heading that way. I figure when I turn 90, I'm just going to be an Ewok. Okay, if you don't know what an Ewok is, a little furry creature from Star Wars in either episode 3 or 6, depending on how you counted them. And the people that are laughing right now are nerds. And then my youngest daughter, that's my Audie Grace, y'all, and she is 12. I got them 31, 28, 26, 22, and 12. I have 4 that completed college and 1 that completed the 6th grade. You know what that's like? That's like running a tire marathon. You get to the finish line, somebody stretches out the yellow tape and then goes, dude, don't hit that, that ain't for you. You hop in the truck, we gonna take you back to the starting gate. We won't go back to the starting gate. Audie Grace is something. She was named class president last year, 6th grade class president. Yeah. The very first day in office, she erased all of our emails and built a wall between them and the 5th graders. Got the 4th grade to pay for it. Then she ran into a little scandal. She had kissed a boy in 2nd grade and been paying him off since. If you guys got cable, that joke would rock. Audie Grace is something. She's the only one I ever had to go to the schoolhouse over. I'm not saying my other 4 kids are perfect angels. I'm just saying they never got caught and got their daddy involved in the thing, right? 3rd grade, I get called to her classroom, walk into her little classroom, and her teacher looks at me and goes, do you realize your daughter is a class clown? I got a tear in my eye, y'all. Are you serious? The other 4 are really smart. Finally, one of them falling in her daddy's footsteps. Teacher didn't find anything funny about it. She said that young lady needs to take her education more seriously. I said, all right, back up, Lee Harvey. I'll talk to her. I'm not being overly critical, but if you're yelling at her like you are at me, somebody needs to work on their people skills. I got out in the hallway. Audie Grace had these crocodile tears in her eyes, and she's my favorite. By far, she is my favorite. I know you always wonder if your mom and daddy got a favorite. By far, they got a favorite. Yeah. And if you're wondering who it is, it ain't you. Because the favorite knows who the favorite is. That's right. All my kids know that kid's my favorite. I walked out in that hallway. She had them tears in her eyes. She said, you mad at me, Daddy? I said, no, girl, get in the truck. We going for ice cream. You hear me? Get in the truck. We got into the Brahms ice cream store by the house. She just licking on that ice cream. She said, you really ain't mad at me, Daddy? I said, no, you don't listen, old lady. You keep telling your jokes. You'll get you a good job working 30 minutes a night somewhere. You hear me, young? My 2 oldest kids get mad at me most of all, though. They really do. They're like, Daddy, you spoil her. You never spoiled us. I said, well, let's look at the facts. I had Audie Grace when I was 36 years old. I said, Brittany, I had you when I was 19. You 2 people ought to be happy you are alive. So I'm a middle-aged man. I live in the middle of the city. I live in the middle of the state, in the middle of the country. And that's really where I am politically. And I think most of us are. You know, we got 10% of our country that's on the far, far right. We got 10% of the country on the far, far left. And that leaves the 80% of us, the masses in the middle, just wishing the other 20% would just shut up so we can all get on with our lives. That's why I do a deal on Facebook called Living in the Middle. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I hope you have. But I try to take an issue that most of us in America that are dealing with. And some of it's controversial. Like the other day, I talked about whether or not we should give guns to teachers in schools. And I don't know if it's the right move or the wrong move. All I do know is it might stop some of the bull answers that we get for not turning in your homework in time. Miss Leckler, the dog ate my homework. Are you sure about that, Timmy? I know there's a long line of blurred lines that we have now in the country. And ladies, answer me this. How come the only time you want a man to be a man anymore is when there's a loud noise outside? Can't hold open the door anymore, not in this year, not these days. Hey, I don't know what you think you're doing there, mister, but that is a woman. I was raised to pull out a chair for a young lady. Try to do that at your job on Monday. You'll be in human resources on Tuesday. Yeah. I don't know what you think you're doing there, mister, but that is a woman. Loud noise outside. Every one of you ladies go see what that is. No, you go outside. You're a woman. This is me and my wife, Michelle, if there's ever a loud noise in the middle of the night. Me and my wife, Michelle, if there's ever a loud noise in the middle of the night. Bill. 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 What? Are you awake? I am now. Did you hear that? I heard somebody go, Bill, 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 Bill. Bill. Well, there's a loud noise outside. So I'm scared. So don't go outside. Bill, I can't go to sleep unless I know what it was. Well, get your shoes on and get out there. I can sleep through it just fine. Bill, Michelle, shut up. Go to sleep. You're a grown woman. Close your eyes. The noise will go away. And my wife's mad at me because I said the 2 words, right? Ladies, shut up. She finds it very disrespectful. She doesn't mind it disrespectful to wake me up from a slumber when I might have to work 1 or 2 hours next week. Hey, don't hate the player. And I know my wife's mad because she'll turn over real fast, y'all, and she'll take the comforter, the sheet, and the blanket with her. And now I'm shivering in a thong. And I love my wife. I do more than life itself, but the only thing you don't want to allow my wife to do is allow her to go to sleep first because she snores. And it's not a pretty woman snore, it's like a grown man in Shawshank Redemption snore. But then it finally gets real quiet, and then I hear the noise. Michelle. 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 What? I heard it too. Well, go see what it was. No. You go out there. You're the one with the green crap on your face and the curlers in your hair. You're a heck of a lot scarier than I am. I got poop in my pants. I've seen every scary movie. The guy that poops his pants first, he gets killed first. My wife has started in on me. Just get your baseball bat. People, grab your baseball bat. People, I live in Texas, and I am a proud gun owner, okay? Yeah. Do I ever grab my gun? No, because I know if I shoot somebody outside, I gotta drag them in the house before the cop gets there. And I don't know if you've ever tried to do that in a thong, but it's difficult.